Got very little done today. At least there was no surprises under the left-hand cover. The post arrived late afternoon. This is where it was left yesterday. Key is there on the tapered section of the crankshaft. I think for now it can stay there unless it wants to pop out. I don't think it wants to pop out. I've lifted the flywheel up and set it in the case up there. That's the starting clutch on the back of the flywheel. It's a one-way Sprague bearing. We know that works fine because the starter motor tips the motor over nicely. Back here, the starter motor runs on this gear here, and that gear has got a small cog on it that runs against this larger cog here, and it's the centre of that cog there where the Sprague bearing runs on there. So the starter motor turns this over. The Sprague clutch lets that drive the crankshaft in the forward direction while the starter motor's spinning, and then once the engine takes over, the crank takes off. The crank's connected to the flywheel. The Sprague clutch releases the connection to this large cog. Now I'm going to lift out the parts of this starter pinion. There's a spacer on the pin there. The pin itself. So the starter runs on the small teeth there. The larger teeth behind there run on the larger gear down there. So I can lift this larger cog out now. Notice I'm not having to remove any fasteners or anything. That's got a roller bearing in the centre of it. We're down to the timing chain. Needs to be removed from this end if you're not intending to break the chain. I've just lifted that over the crankcase and I can pull it out here now. So that's what the exercise was about, removing that. Go ahead and examine that, check its length. Its droop when you hold it horizontally in some ways indicates how worn a chain is. I'll do that comparison with the other used chain I've got. New chain guides hopefully arriving in the next hour, and I'll do a comparison of the new chain guides. Oil that's laying in the bottom of the crankcase there perhaps indicates why it was running out the chain cavity there. Any oil laying here would have wanted to run out, and at this stage I suspect it has run out of the chain cavity. That's what it looks like in behind. The actual teeth on the crankcase sprocket seem okay. I'm going to make a new gasket for it. I've got a pattern inside and I need to make a new gasket and a pattern for the next time I want it. I've removed the gasket on here and given it a bit of a wire brush to remove the fragments left, but I've decided I'm going to lift all of these parts that will come out. This interlock mechanism here for the transfer, the fork and dog lower cog there, I think all come out. This one comes out, it's got a circlip on it to lift this one out, just so that I can give the bottom of this part of the case a good mop out, and that all of these components are clean before they go back in. And then I'll do a similar thing to the top case. I'm looking forward to polishing up the outside of the top case to make it all shiny. The post has just arrived and I got two parcels. One of them was just the cheap voltage regulator. that cost about 18 bucks. And then a parcel of OEM gear. That little one there is an exhaust gasket. The larger one is a head gasket. These are replacement chain guides, and that is a rear universal joint boot, which I ordered because one of mine on the restoration project is ripped. I decided I'd only change the one of them. I was curious as to the extent of the damage to these chain guides. This one here is the damaged one. I'll perhaps show you the original, the new one. The new one's just got a ridge down the centre of it. That's the most prominent difference to the damaged one. The damaged one's got those large grooves formed either side of that centre ridge. The centre ridge obviously runs down the centre of the chain. These have got distorted, this one's got distorted round pivot points on it, and it's got damaged end on it. I was wondering whether this piece could actually just be reused. In looking at the picture on the spare parts catalogue, not knowing that it shouldn't have those grooves down the side, I thought that one might be okay. Other one, this is the other damaged chain guide, splitting here, and there's actually a chunk of it missing between here and back here. The side is missing out of it. It's a lower level. I don't know whether you can make that out in this light, but there's a whole chunk missing. So I knew that one needed to be replaced. They can be purchased separately. This is the good one. Again, just with a centre ridge, not the groove situation that's going on where that's chopped out. So I'm pleased I bought both of those. I'll fit those up tomorrow. Well, I'm slowly getting this problem sorted. Get out to your shed and have some fun.